Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be doing, hopefully, a quick unboxing and review of G1 Megatron from the AMK mini-series from Yolopark. And as for when this was released, I want to say 2023, but I could be very, very mistaken. Anyway, doing a bit of a dedicated run through the AMK mini-series, especially with Megatron, because some time ago I did the blind box version of this, and one of which was Megatron, the other one was Starscream. The videos are floating around on the channel, so I thought I'd actually go through the more dedicated pre-boxed versions of each one, Megatron, Starscream, as well as the rest of the mini-series, which was, we'll see in a minute, it's on the back of the box. Anyway, that's the general intent, so I'll try and be relatively quick, given it's not the first time Megatron's been on the channel. So front of the box of the actual dedicated Megatron AMK mini-series kit, with a very nice image of G1 Megatron here, front and center on the box. It is obviously artwork, it's not the actual model itself, but he does look very cool, and obviously with the front of the box itself very aligned back to the old G1 stylizations, which is very cool. So that's the front. The side doesn't have too much, bottom doesn't have too much. The top just has the Yolopark, and the other side just has, once again, another image of Megatron, sporting a very sinister smile. As for the back, so in terms of the business end, so we have a nice shot of the completed Megatron model there, looking very nice. The actual assembly, and it is pretty much exactly like that. You don't have to build everything from the bottom up. Everything's pretty much done for you, so it's somewhat pre-assembled. It's just pretty much joining everything at the main joints. As for the actual series, so Megatron is here, as we've seen, Starscream. So the other ones are Soundwave to wrap up the three Decepticons, Optimus, Bumblebee, and then Grimlock in his alt mode as opposed to his robot mode. It's unfortunate they didn't do his robot mode, but I can understand why he's been left in his T-Rex mode, because he does spend a lot of his time in his T-Rex mode. But for a mini-series, they do look very, very cool, as we've seen before. So that's pretty much the packaging side. If you decide to get him like this, if you can find him like this as opposed to the blind box, definitely think it's worth having, especially for some of the artwork. With that being done, time to open up the box, have a quick look inside. I suspect the parts will be in some plastic packaging before we take them off, and then I probably won't time-lapse, I've done that before, but I'll definitely put them together and then just do some quick final thoughts. Okay, with everything out of the box, so unlike the blind boxes, in terms of the manual, Megatron will have his own very specific manual itself. So we have the front of the manual with a nice shot once again of Megatron, and on the back we just have a quick overview of the completed model in a bit of a 3D render, where it also goes through some of the articulation. So the head, the arms, where it turns, the degrees of turn, etc. So that's always handy to see. So despite only being 12 centimeters, these things will have some degree of flexibility. Don't expect it to do some supposedly, you know, action figure wild poses, but it won't be completely static. In terms of the inside, just pretty much the instructions of putting everything together. They've kept it relatively simple and just denoted left and right where possible, because a lot of these will be the same, especially with the legs. The arms slightly different, mainly because we do have the fusion cannon on his right, and the left is a bit sparse. But overall, that's very cool. It is very nice to get a bit more of a dedicated manual. So that's a little construction manual, which is a bit of a variation from the blind box. Now, as I suspected, and I've actually taken the lid off, which was a lot easier to do than my previous Yolopark Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beast unboxing, pretty much everything is outlaid in a plastic tray. It's easier to do it this way. So you can see everything there, the head, torso, the arms, and everything. And in fact, everything is pretty much laid out in such a way that it's actually intuitive with just the general body form. So that's actually really, really cool. Thankfully enough, it didn't have any of that extra plastic tabbing to secure things down. So that is pretty much what you will see straight out of the box. In fact, it does look really pretty. To do this, I maybe take the blind box Megatron, put it back in. I don't know, it's just something about the actual look of being in your individual bits form. So that's pretty much what you would get in this particular version of Megatron, as I said, compared to the blind box. So what I'll do is I will put Megatron together, and then we can have a quick look. Not expecting too many differences, it should be the exact same as the one from the blind box. And then just do some quick thoughts thereafter. Okay, with Megatron now all put together, so there he is in all his completed glory. We do get 2 extra set of hands, so they're pretty much exactly the same. So if I put Megatron to the side, so we've got these hands that basically have a pointed finger for both left and right, and then we have open hands once again for left and right as well, on top of the usual closed fist type hands as well. I've just used the closed fists just for the sake of the putting everything together. So just put these to the side, so you do get some hand options, which is very nice. So in terms of Megatron, now as I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much exactly the same. Well, which should be exactly the same. It's a blind box, so that's Megatron from the front, a side profile, Megatron from the back, Megatron from his other side profile, and just a nice close-up of Megatron there from his pretty much 3/4 profile. So overall, as a 12cm little model kit, he is looking really, really good. We do have some paint applications here, so you've got a bit of this red on the elbows, as well as I think some of the detailing here on his main torso, on his Decepticon logo, some of his bits here in his torso, some of the red on the side as well, obviously the red for his eyes. So overall, visually, he's definitely not too bad, on top of his black and silver deco, with a little bit of grey. So visually, that is definitely Megatron through and through. Does look very cool, and also feels quite sturdy. In terms of the assembly, it was pretty easy, and obviously a good thing about everything in those plastic trays, you just literally just pull the pieces out, put everything together. One of the criticisms I have, and I think if we do the articulation, it'll probably become apparent. Other than pegs, the rest of this is pretty much ball and socket. Some of the ball joints do feel really, really tight. I did have a bit of, well, I won't say difficulty, but some of the feet, one was easier than the other, but do keep that in mind that you may need a little bit of extra force when putting these together. And I think I did notice it with some of the previous builds when I did the other Megatron and Starscream. Not a bad thing that the joints are really, really tight and secure, but it's that initial assembly that could throw people off. Now, in terms of general articulation, so we know the head is on a ball socket, so it will do a full 360, but also as such it can also do a bit of a tilt up, can do a very small tilt down, and obviously the side to side as well. So the head is going to have some movement there. The arms are once again ball socket, so there will be the 360 there, that you'll do with this hand. So the hands can also do a full 360 turnaround. The arms will go as far forward and pretty much straighten back out, so you will have a little bit of posing options there. Obviously because of the arm joint, you can also do some posing of the fusion cannon arm, aka his right arm. Just bear in mind, you will start gliding with things. That's not too bad for the upper body. We will have a full 360 swivel here at the waist. These little Hip skirts will also just go up a little bit, go back down. As for the legs, so we will have not a full 90 degree, but close to, mainly because the top of the leg is hitting stuff. As for the back, definitely has more of a back kick than a front kick, which is interesting, but there is less kibble here on the back than there is the front. And I guess the front quad is probably a bit bigger than the back. So that's not too bad. There will be the swivel up here at the very top of the leg for a full 360, which is very nice. In terms of knee bend, you'll get that much. You won't have much of a forward kick, unfortunately, so it's just pretty much like that. So definitely not too bad. So if we were to look at the front, definitely not too bad at all. And then lastly, there will be which I'll do with this foot. Now, the feet actually are a little bit sticky and tight, but that's okay. Now, despite being ball sockets, you're only going to get so much movement left and right, just because of the bottom of the leg housing will pretty much stop you from doing anything overly dramatic. So you'll definitely be able to tilt the feet, you know, bit to the right, bit to the left. I mean, that's probably as far as the tilt goes, but the only downside about that tilt, it does make him feel a little bit wobbly on the feet. So I guess if you just put them back into the middle, or more middle-like, yeah, one of these feet is definitely giving me a bit more hassle. To the point that I'm worried I'm going to snap it, but let's see. How does that feel? Yeah, so if you just put it back more central, he definitely will stand, not a problem, and won't seem too wobbly, which is good. So that's pretty much the articulation of this little mini figure. Definitely not too bad. Now, what do I think about this version of Megatron? So I guess the pros is, compared to the blind box, if you wanted Megatron, you will get Megatron. No doubt about it. Obviously some of the custom artwork and inclusions are nice, but obviously neither here or there, because you do get the instructions and everything for Megatron in the blind box. I believe this was a little bit more expensive cost-wise than the blind box, so obviously that's the expected, you know, balance out. If you want Megatron, expect to pay a little bit more, or you can pay a little bit less and have I was going to say 1 and 6, but it's actually not correct, because the blind box do give you the options of hopefully getting either the Nemesis recolor, or I think it's either Thundercracker or Skywarp, I can't remember. I'm leaning towards Skywarp. So obviously to balance out the blind box, you've got the potential for 2 other recolors that you can't actually get individually. So the series of 6 is a series of 6. Which I might put Megatron down here. So obviously that's something to consider. If you definitely just want it for your collection, then this is probably the more guaranteed route compared to the blind box. In terms of the actual product, it's pretty much the same, so there's no real incentive really to go one or the other than the costings, or if you want to really go through the blind box opportunity and try and get one of the 2 recolors. I feel like one of them was like a 1 in 50 chance. Can't remember what the others were. Although even with the first 6, I don't think they were like a 1 in 6 chance. So obviously blind boxes being blind boxes, it's very much up to luck and things like that, as you would expect with the blind box. But overall, like, I'm definitely glad I picked up each of these individually. It's unfortunate I picked up the blind box, but I don't mind having an extra Megatron or Starscream. Maybe I'll repaint Starscream into one of the Seekers, who knows? Who knows, maybe I'll even repaint Megatron into a Galvatron deco. Maybe, time would help. But overall, I mean, for what you're getting, it's definitely not too bad. Is it comparable to some of the other model kits? it is what it is for its scale at its price point. In saying that, I mean, it's not like there's a lot of these G1 Megatron model kits. I mean, Yolopark do have a few, but obviously you're going into different scales and type of model. Obviously there's the AMK Pro, which I think is a... For some reason I was thinking 60 centimeters, like that's not right. But there are some larger versions of Megatron, which I do have, which I'll go through in time. So overall, really, it's just a case of, do you want to spend a little bit more or spend a little bit less between the blind box and your guaranteed Megatron? Or do you want to play the blind box and get access to some of the two alternative decos through your little lottery luck, I dare say? Anyway, I'll probably just leave it there because I think overall covered most things. I've gone to the articulation, as I said. I mean, overall, he's definitely not a bad Megatron whatsoever. So, it would definitely be nice to build out the remaining 5 and then display them somewhere. And in terms of size, I mean, for 12 centimeters, they're actually not too bad. Visually, they do look really, really cool. Okay, so I guess there we have it. Bring us to the end of the unboxing and review of the 12 centimeter AMK mini series of Megatron from Yolopark. He does look cool. He may not necessarily do some of the most fun and exciting posing, but he's definitely not going to be a completely static item. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing and review video. Feel free to do the whole like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This does help support the channel, I do appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram, as well as the community post tab, so keep a look out there, especially with the latter, because I am using it just to keep up to date with what I'm actively working on. With that being said, stay safe, take care. I'll catch you in next week's Transformers video, which I haven't decided yet. Probably more model kits in some shape or form, or something else on the channel. See ya.